Okay, this is Mr. Robbie Dasher. He's over our facilities. We hired Mr. Dasher away from Barron County many years ago. He said he wanted to come to a system where he could build and renovate buildings. He's had plenty of work at that the last 10 years. So without further ado, Mr. Robbie Dasher.
Thank you, Mr. Weldon. Mr. Weldon is correct. When I came to work here, I said I want to build schools, and I've had a lot of opportunity to do that in the 10 years, a little over 10 years that I've been here. My name is Robbie Dasher. I am the Chief Operations Officer for the school system. Construction and building schools is one part of what we do in operations. We're going to change gears a little bit with my portion this morning. We're going to talk about a little bit about bricks and mortar and about those big yellow school buses that you see running up and down the roads. That also falls out of our department. I'll be brief. I know you guys have been here for a long time this morning, so I'll kind of be brief and try to get you guys finished up for the day. So we do, out of the operations department, we do manage the facilities, the grounds, and the transportation. In the facilities area, maintenance, maintaining our schools on a daily basis, our custodial services, our safety and security, which is kind of a big hot topic right now, construction and renovation, and then pest control is kind of some of the key things with the facility side of what we do. With our facilities, we have 15 sites. We've got 12 campuses, so a central office, our bus maintenance department, and our grounds department. In our schools, we have approximately 591 instructional units. That's our classrooms and media centers. A little better than 2 million square feet of buildings that our students are in each and every day. And you'll see the value there, about $185 million in value for our facilities. Our maintenance side, we have an electronic work order system that our schools and our principals use. It's called Sherpa Desk. It's an electronic work order system, and we receive approximately 3,700 work tickets each year. That's the repairs, the air conditioners that are down and roofs that are leaking, things like that. So on an average year, we get about 3,700 tickets for repairs through maintenance, and we serve those schools with 8 full-time staff members and 2 part-time employees. Our custodial is through a private contractor, Facilco Services, actually from Tift County, but they provide our custodial services for the schools. Part of our facilities department is safety and security, and that is a very big item, a big topic right now. This is just a brief overview. With our safety and security, we're constantly looking at our safety and security to make improvements. We do have an emergency preparedness plan. If you're not aware of that, we do. We have had that plan in place for years. We update that plan each year. Annually, that plan is reviewed. Each school, each principal reviews that plan. There's certain portions that are updated each year with staff assignments and duties and things like that. So it is updated annually. Our local emergency management folks are involved with that plan, helping us and looking at our actions and even to the point of when we do drills, our emergency management folks locally come and assist with that. Our plan has been and is approved by GEMA. We do have a GEMA representative that works our area and represents our school system. They have taken our plan, they have reviewed it and approved it, that it meets the criteria that it needs to meet. Once the plan is put in place each year and the updates are made, then each school trains their staff and they discuss that plan and the things that need to be done in the event that we have an emergency. We also send those plans out once completed to all of the emergency personnel or the departments within the city and the county, the sheriff's department, police department, fire department, that sort of thing. So in the event, if we do have some kind of a situation, first responders know what our plan is, what we're going to do, so they can better, respond. So they do get a copy of that each year. With that plan, we do evacuation drills, bomb threat drills. We do monthly fire drills, severe weather. We have started doing a lot of intruder or lockdown drills, and a lot of the recent things that have went on in schools. We do conduct those kind of drills as well, just to try to get our staff and students comfortable with what they need to do if something was to happen. Annually, we have fire alarms, sprinklers, extinguishers. They're all inspected annually by outside third-party companies. We also do monthly inspections, fire extinguishers, and that sort of thing. One of the big things we've done in the last few years, our board chose to put card access for all of our schools, which really increased the security in our buildings, because we no longer have keys for staff to get in our buildings. We have card access, and in the event a key gets lost, then it puts our facilities in jeopardy. If someone wants to find that, they then have access to our buildings. But with card access, we can keep our building secure. If a card gets misplaced, we can disable that card, so no matter who might find it, they still cannot have access to our buildings. So that's been one of the key things, one of the key things we've done here the last few years to help with the safety in our schools, to keep our students and our staff safe. A big part of our department and a big part of my day is spent on construction and renovation. You'll see some information here. We have a lot of planning that goes into renovations and construction of our schools. We are required by law to have a 5-year plan showing the needs in our school system and prioritizing those needs and having a plan as to how we're going to address those needs. That plan is developed with assistance from the Georgia Department of Education, and we have some architects and engineers that we utilize to help develop that plan. It is reviewed and approved by the Georgia Department of Education and by our local school board. And it is a plan that is in place for 5 years. It just kind of gives us a framework to know where we need to go, show our needs and prioritize those needs, and how we're going to get there to meet those needs. As well as the 5-year plan, we constantly maintain a smaller SPLOST projects list that is a working document that outside of large construction projects, we have a tremendous amount of small projects that we do just internally that is we're constantly reviewing that document and working through it. A little bit of information just over the last 10 years. And these numbers are strictly in the construction and renovation. It does not include a lot of that small work, the internal projects that we do. This is the projects we typically do through our architects and engineers. You can see a list of some of the facilities we've worked on. We went through a lot of our schools. Still got work to do, but we have been very successful in accomplishing a lot of things in our system. In the last 10 years, we've spent just over $67 million in construction and renovations with Tiffin County Schools. Again, we still have a lot to do. We still got a lot of needs, but that's a lot of money that have went into renovating and updating our facilities. Out of that $67 million, approximately almost $56 million is local money. That is SPLOST dollars that has funded that. But we have received a little more than $11.5 million in state funds to help with that, and that is called a capital outlay program that the State Department of Education helps fund some of our work. Obviously, you can see they do not fund 100% of it, but every little bit helps. And that's 11.5 million that come from the Department of Education. Pest control is kind of like our custodial. We contract that out, and a local company here in town, Bonds Pest Control, handles all of those needs. Our grounds department takes care of our school grounds and our athletic fields. Among a lot of other things, they maintain about 730 acres of property. We have 3 full-time employees and 9 part-time employees. This is a department that is, they're very versatile. A lot of our part-time employees work with the fire department. And they bring a lot of skills with them. They do a lot of different things, so it's not just grounds that our folks take care of, but they're very versatile in what they do. In that department, they maintain our school grounds, our athletic fields, and they do a lot of landscaping and installation of irrigation, that sort of thing. We also, in this department, we have a certified playground inspector, which a lot of school systems do not have. We do have someone on staff that annually looks and inspects all of our playgrounds and makes a list of the necessary repairs to keep our students safe. The third component of operations, the third main component, is transportation. And this is a unique department in itself. We currently run about 55 route buses. That has been reduced this year from last year because with the grade realignment, we went in and revamped our entire bus routing scheme, and we were able to reduce some of our bus routes. So we are currently at 55 route buses. Most of those buses run 2 routes each morning and each afternoon. We have a total of 82 buses in our fleet. Our department maintains that as well as our assisted vehicles. Our buses daily travel about 2,200 miles a day, transporting students back into the school and the home. We transport about 3,500 students. That's about 45% of our student body. We transport those students every morning, every afternoon. It's about 7,000 students a day. Better than 1.2 million times, or 1.2 million students each year are loading or unloading a bus in a year's time. And that's a tremendous responsibility for our drivers. As you guys have seen, I'm sure, in the recent news reports, there's been some students, so close to us that there's been some accidents at bus stops. And one of the things that we do each year is there is a group called the National Association of State Directors of Pupil Transportation to send out in one day each year. They poll every school system and ask for drivers to document and report numbers of drivers that run school bus stop signs. It's sad to say that in Georgia, and this is only 75% of the school bus drivers in the state reported, in the state of Georgia for 2018, we had 7,465 cars run a school bus stop in one day. That's almost 7,500 cars running school bus stop signs in one day in the state of Georgia, and that's only 75% of the school bus drivers reported. In the 38 states that participate in this report, almost 84,000 cars pass school bus stop signs in 38 states in a day's period. It is something we take very seriously, and we try do everything we can to minimize. Our drivers are trained. We have training that we send out to the schools to help students be better prepared to load and unload buses and the safe way to do it. And it's just something we have to constantly remind everyone because it can be very dangerous out there. But it's a lot of potential there. And when we're loading and unloading 1.2 million students in a year's time, you know, it's something we take very seriously. Outside of our normal bus routing in the mornings and afternoons, we conduct about a little over 1,000 field trips and athletic trips. You'll see the breakdown there. And we run about 15 buses each summer for summer school. We do have a Sherpa desk, the same system that we do for work orders, we use for trip requests. Schools and staff can enter a trip request ticket that is submitted through our system. We do have an electronic bus routing system that helps us develop and maintain our bus routing schemes, as well as GPS systems for our buses. And we do have cameras on each one of our buses. We have a system called 24/7 that monitors and provides useful information for us if we have an incident on the bus or have a situation while they're on the bus route. With our transportation department, we have a director, an assistant director, 2 mechanics. We have 55 full-time drivers. Currently, we have 2 full-time substitute drivers and 3 part-time with 11 monitors, and we're constantly looking for additional staff. The transportation department and bus drivers is a difficult place to be fully staffed. We are currently fully staffed in our full-time drivers, but we are very short-handed on our part-time sub-drivers, and they play a vital part, a critical part in us being able to maintain our bus, our transportation to and from school. These are some of the safety things that we do each year with our transportation department. The Department of Motor Vehicles comes once a year and goes through each one of our buses with a fine-tooth comb. They do that for every school system in the state. They crawl under buses, in them, around them, once a year to make sure that everything is like it needs to be. On top of that, we do that same thing each month, as well as we have a program in place where if a driver has a mechanical problem or safety issue, they can submit that to our bus shop. But once a month, our bus shop staff, goes through all of our buses. We do annual safety meetings, we do local meetings for our drivers. There is a mandatory state conducted safety meeting that all of our drivers are required to go to be able to be qualified to be a bus driver in Tift County. And we do emergency evacuation drills as well. So some of the kind of the safety portions of the transportation department. That's a very brief overview, kind of a mile-high view of operations. We're here to support the schools and the school staff, the students, the curriculum. We do play what I consider a vital role in supporting them. So I hope that maybe at least gives you some sense of what we do. And if there's anything with your local group that you have questions or would like for us to come and speak to you guys, we would certainly be glad to do that. Okay, thank you.
Okay, if you'll give me just 1 minute, if you need to stretch or use the restroom, we're going to go ahead and just work on through these next 2 directors. I know time is starting to run tight, so bear with us just a moment. Please, thank you.